Let's try this again. Quazemoto Show, June 8th, 2016, take 2. I had started my podcast, and about a minute 30 into it, I got rudely interrupted, and I had to stop, pause, here to listen to some blah 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 blah, and then I was like, fuck, let me just start over. Anyways, welcome to the show, everybody. This is your host, Quaz, flying solo. I called and texted D. He's a no-show. I think Uber's got to his head, and he's like, I'm doing Uber. Fuck the show. Which is okay. That's fine. I'm watching the NBA Finals Game 3. Third quarter, Cleveland's up 60-46. And Cleveland will win this one. They have to. It's Game 3. They're playing at home. They're getting all the calls. They're playing aggressive. They came out playing very aggressive, both in the first half and third quarter. They just got to keep it up, and keep playing aggressive defense. Don't let Golden State get hot on the threes, like Klay Thompson and Draymond Green. Steph Curry's a non-factor in this game. He got into foul trouble early, and he's playing real hesitant right now. I think he's in single-digit points right about now. But Cleveland will win this just because they're at home, they're getting the calls, and they have momentum. But I think that's all they'll do, honestly. Come Game 4 on Friday, Golden State will find its rhythm again, get used to the Cleveland home crowd, and they'll pull off the victory. And then they'll win it in Golden State in Game 5. As I predicted. Golden State in 5. LeBron is playing aggressive, but I'm kind of seeing the tendencies where the same old LeBron's coming up, where he's passing the ball away more than he is driving to the rims, creating shots, getting the fouls called for him, and that's his MO. That's his method of operation. He never was the alpha male, take the ball, drive to the hoop, and the rest of the team follow me. He's more of a pass first kind of guy. D and I, we talked about this briefly, didn't talk about it. We texted each other briefly about this, that LeBron's not a leader. He never was a born leader. He's not MJ, he's not Kobe, he's not Magic, he's not Bird. He just doesn't have that killer instincts. He would rather have someone else take the shot, take the lead, and him and LeBron rides on their coattail versus him taking all of the responsibility. He just can't shoulder it. His psyche is too weak and too small to handle that, and he does not want to shoulder the blame when the responsibility does fall upon his shoulders. That's why in the fourth quarter he disappears a lot. He'll pass the ball away in the fourth quarter. He doesn't want to take the big shot, etc., etc. We've seen this for years, throughout the finals, throughout the playoffs, and whatnot. Golden State just popped another 3. It's going to get close, but as I said, Cleveland will squeak this one out. Anyways, enough about the NBA and the finals. I'd rather watch it and just enjoy it instead of breaking down the game or LeBron or whatnot. So fuck that. Anyways, last week I talked about Christina Mao and her website, and I got a lot of emails on it, both for and against. I was waiting for an email from Christina herself. I'd love to have her on the show, so if she's listening, Christina, just shoot me an email and we can get you on the show ASAP. Would love to have you on here. Some of the emails were, the emails were 50-50. Some of the emails were for Christina Mano, the other ones were against. The 4 ones were like, oh, she's hot. I've been, been a member of her website, been looking at her pics, since she, wasn't showing anything, to the people that weren't fans of her, calling her a, big fat heifer with saddlebag, titties hanging down to her knees and whatnot, and a has been, and she waited too long to show her goods, etc., etc. But it got the conversation going. So I think every now and then I'll review a couple of other websites, but I'm not going to make a habit of it. I don't want to turn this podcast into like a porn forum. But app of the week. A friend of mine recommended this app to me. It's called Downloader. You can get it on. You can get it for iPhone. I don't know about Samsung and the others. I don't know. I don't use Samsung and the others. I use iPhone. iPhone's the best phone in the whole world, hands down. But check out this app called Downloader. What it is you can pretty much download any song you want, and it doesn't take up a lot of data, and you can add to your music library. And this was something I was looking for, because I'll go to iTunes, I'll go to the internet, I'll look for websites where I can get MP3s from, but it's a hassle. It's a hassle. So what the Downloader app does is you download it, you open it, it has a browser in it. In the browser you can go to any website that can stream a song or whatnot. So when you go to YouTube and YouTube and search for a song, say like One Direction, right? I'm just pulling that shit out my ass. One Direction, and you like Stay the Night, right? It's not like I know the song or anything, or I have it downloaded, or I know the words by heart or anything. I'm just pulling this song out of thin air. Anyways, so you YouTube a song, One Direction, Stay the Night, and you start playing the video. As soon as you start playing the video on the app, it'll say, do you want to download? You say, yes, I want to download. And it downloads it into the files library on the app. And then you can play it back right away. You don't even have to wait for the video to finish. It just downloads it in a snap, right? Half the data of a full MP3. And what the good thing about it is, when you connect your iPhone to iTunes, you can transfer all your downloaded songs from the Downloader app to your music library. So it's a win-win situation. I love it. Since I got it on Monday or Tuesday, I've been downloading songs like crazy. I don't know what the legality of this is. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get some letters from some record company saying, you're downloading illegally. But I'm downloading it through this app. I don't know the legalities of this. Anyone who does, please email me and say, hey, Quaz, you better stop that shit or you're going to get sued. So I can delete all the songs right away. But for those who want to check it out, Downloader app. It's really good. I really like it, and it's worth your time. This past Sunday night, I caught the last minute of the Miss America contest, and I think the finalists were like. The three finalists were like Miss Georgia, Miss Hawaii, and Miss District of Columbia, Miss DC, right? Even though DC is not a state, it's a city. It's never been recognized as a state, but they have a representative. I don't know if Puerto Rico has a representative, or the Virgin Islands has a representative, but DC does, for some strange reason, right? I don't see 51 flags or 51 stars on the flags, but that's neither here nor there. But Miss Georgia didn't win. She was like the third runner-up, and it was between Miss Hawaii and Miss DC. So I'll give you one guess as to who won. No, it wasn't Miss who was hot, by the way, I have to say. She was really hot. It was Miss DC, Miss District of Columbia. She won. And so a little hometown love, DC is near and dear to my heart, and it's finally, it's a good thing. DC is getting some of the respect, nationally and internationally, if I can say that. And the lady who won, she's like an army officer. I guess she moonlights as Miss America pageant contestant. But good for her. She's in the military. She's part of the combat force. The new rule by Congress allowing women to be combat ready. So she's on the front line, which is good for her. She leads a bunch of soldiers into battle, which is great. All for it. So just wanted to mention that, give a little love to DC, Miss District of Columbia, winning the Miss America pageant, and good luck to her in the Miss Universe pageant, which, by the way, is all owned and run by yours truly, Donald Trump. Reason I bring up Trump is he's been getting into he's been getting into trouble past week or so with Trump University. This I guess program that Trump started, where if you enroll in Trump University, Trump and the teachers that work for Trump University, they teach you on how to become like the real estate mogul that Donald Trump is, right? But what a lot of the people who bought into this bullshit that Trump was feeding in Trump University, and this was recently, like maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago, that Trump was doing this shit. People that bought into it, they had to pay like a boatload of money, probably like $35,000 for enrollment, classes, books, lectures, all that good shit. They all said they didn't get anything out of it, not a degree, right? They didn't get a fucking degree. They didn't even get a real estate license, I don't think. They just, gave them tips on how to buy and sell houses in an aggressive way, the Trump way, I guess. So a lot of people in various different states filed a class action lawsuit. I think class action is the right term for like a bunch of people want to file a lawsuit together to sue someone or something. Class action, it might be a civil action or joint action, but I'm gonna go with class action. I'm sure there's lawyers listening to this show and they'll correct me with their emails, but that's fine. So now Trump's getting all this trouble because he's getting sued in states like Texas and California and Florida and whatnot. I think Texas, he paid off the district attorney or the state attorney. Well, that's what I heard anyways on CNN. But I think it's in Arizona or Mexico where this federal judge is hearing the case, and this judge is of Mexican descent. And not only is Trump in trouble with his Trump University, Trump made some comments about this judge's nationality, his heritage. He called him a Mexican, or, he being a racist towards Mexican. He's been doing that, for the whole past year and whatnot. Saying we're going to build up this wall to keep out the Mexicans and whatnot. And now he's just blatantly calling this guy, Mexican in a derogatory way. Which, if you're the Republican presidential nominee, you don't want to be saying that shit. You're already fighting an uphill battle and you're just making shit harder for yourself. Why do that, bro? Stop it. As I said, Trump is already facing an uphill battle, and when the heat gets hot, and it's going to get hotter throughout the whole summer, now that he's he's got the Republican candidacy, it's going to get harder. A lot more spotlight's going to be shining on you, Donald baby, and you better be able to handle it. This is just the beginning. People are going to dig up a lot of shit on you and bring it to the mass people. And if you want to win, if you want to have any chance of winning that presidency, you got to act like a pro with it. You can't go on the offensive and attack, and call federal judges by derogatory names of their heritage. That's not going to help you. You're already turning off the Republican Party. Now you're going to turn off the voters. A lot of voters like, what the fuck is he saying? If he can get that upset against one group of people, what's going to happen when something really happens that affects the majority of his voters? How's he going to respond? So Trump, take some advice, clam up, and play the game. You know what I mean by that. You can't be on attack mode on every single issue. Do the Billy Boy way, Bill Clinton. Throughout his whole first presidential run, he had that whole Jennifer Flowers issue hanging over his head, but he handled it politically. Clintons are politicians. They know how to handle that shit. Trump's a businessman. He's always in attack mode, constantly, because that's what businessmen do. They attack to get their way. In the political arena, it does not work that way. Enough about Trump, because, I really don't care too much about him. He's going to lose, right? We all know this. He's going to lose. Congrats to Hilary Clinton. She is the presumptive Democratic presidential candidate. So good for her. Bernie Sanders is still flickering with hope, hoping to change the minds of the superdelegates on the Democratic side, but it's not going to happen, Bernie. And you can already see him kind of seceding or conceding to Hillary. Maybe he'll say this week, yeah, okay, I give up. Just let me get the vice presidency. But expect Barack Obama, if not, tomorrow or Friday, but definitely next week, to come out with full support for Hillary and then start going on the offensive and attacking Trump. That's a lot of firepower. You got Hillary, you got Bill Clinton, you got Barack Obama, and if Bernie Sanders secedes and gives the candidacy to Hillary, he's for sure going to go on the offensive against Trump. Those Democrats cannot wait to attack him. They can't wait. They were just, they were doing the political thing. They were waiting until they knew who the candidate was, and now they're going to go on the offensive. And Trump better be ready. If he can't handle Trump University and a Latino federal judge, how's he going to handle Clinton, Obama, Sanders, and every other Democrat that's going to go on the offensive against Trump? So it's going to be a show. And what I'm hearing, what I'm reading is like Trump and Clinton are the two most unpopular candidates in history to run for president. But you know what? What was the other choice? Were you really going to go with Jeb Bush? Bernie, he had a fighter's chance, but were you really going to go with Bernie? I don't think so. So it's going to be a fun summer watching Hillary and Trump battle back and forth. I can't wait to see the debates that are eventually going to happen. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think that's a text from D. I think he's texting me. Let me see what's happening real quick. Right now, Cleveland's up 81-62, and almost end of the third quarter. Anyways, that just reminded me when D texted me. When D and I, funny story, right? When D and I were going to get his Uber car from the dealership, one thing you do at the dealership that everyone's been through, you sit and wait, right? The salesman that you're working with, he'll come, he'll talk with you for about 5 minutes, and then like whatever the car buyer decides, then the salesman's like, okay, let me go check with my manager. And then he's gone for like a half hour, right? We all know he's out there taking a smoke break, because we're like, hey, I'm not going to pay $13,000 for the car. I'm only going to pay $11,000. Salesman like, all right, I'm going to go talk to my manager, see what I can do. All he's doing is going out to the side of the building, taking a cigarette break, and coming back saying, nah, my manager's not going to have it. It's $13,000. That's all. That's the best we can do. That's how it works. So in between these breaks of actually dealing with the salesman, D and I were sitting at this dealership. You know, there was a wide open dealership, lots of people walking back and forth. Dee and I noticed two ladies. The first lady was when this young, hot Arab chick. Real skinny, real nice, nicely kept, hairs, nails, makeup, all that good shit. You know, she was dressed fine and everything. And me and Dee were just eyeballing her. And both of us like, yeah, that's nice. Yeah. Well, if we were fortunate enough, both of us would tag it. And then a few minutes go by, and then Dee spotted it first. He spots this old, I would say Korean lady. I'm not saying old, you know, like 80 years old. She was like maybe in her 40s, right? She was okay. She was decent, but Dee was like drooling over her. And I'm like, you can't be serious. You don't tell me you're gonna take her over the hot young chick. And he's like, I kinda am. And you know, then we sat there and we had nothing else to do, so we started getting into a conversation. You know, like, would you really take? And you know, we just gave them names, right? Because we didn't know their names. And like, would you really take old sushi over fresh young kebab, right? Old sushi being the Korean lady, the fresh young kebab being the young hot Arab chick. And then we were like, pros and cons. You know, the old lady, she's more experienced. You know, this was Dee talking. Old lady's more experienced. She's probably a freak in bed. You know, and look at that body. She's got a little meat on her, more meat on her than the fresh kebab. But my cons were like, yeah, that's not extra meat. She's just fat. Number two, she's old. Her titties are hanging down to her knees. Number three, she probably got a hairy ass bush down there. She hasn't shaved since she was 13. And my pros for the Arab chick was young, definitely a plus. She can probably last a lot longer. You know, she'll be up all night with you, you know, giving you multiple pops, versus the Korean lady who'll give you one pop and then she's like, me so tired, me go to sleep, you know. With the Arab chick, she'll be like, I'm ready to go again, you know. The fresh kebab was probably definitely shaved. I mean, the way she kept her body, you had to know, hey, yeah, she shaved down there for sure, you know. So banging body, beautiful face, you know, can go all night. So I went with fresh kebab. Donnie was like, nah, man, I'm gonna go for some old sushi. So we left it for debate on another day. So it is what it is, you know. I guess you had to be there so you can decide for yourself. But feel free to chime in. What would you go for? Would you go for old sushi or would you go for fresh kebab, you know? And I'm pretty sure other people are going to chime in and say, yo, you know, what about some, you know, the all-American hot dog, you know? What if I want to go for American steak, you know? But then again, I would counter say, are you going to say, is it old steak or fresh steak, you know? Is it a week-old steak or is it freshly cut steak, you know? That would be my big argument, right? Or, you know, what about some, like, you know, Polish sausage, you know? It's same type, you know, same thing, you know, old Polish sausage versus fresh kebab, you know, whatever the case might be, you know. Yeah, but I digress. Whatever you're in the mood for at that particular time and that particular day. But I always like to go for fresh versus, as Dee would say, aged. All right. But anyways, let's see. Can we go into some emails? This email comes from Quack in San Francisco, California. Quack, thank you for the email. And Quack writes, hey, Quaz, hey, both of our names start with Q. That's pretty cool. Have you seen 10 Cloverfield Lane? Quack, yes, I have. And I have to say, great fucking movie. John Goodman, who was in the movie, he just, you know, knocked that shit out the park. The chick that was in the movie was hot as fuck. I was hoping for a nude scene, you know, maybe a topless or whatnot. Didn't happen, but still, it was a great movie. It was kind of more along the lines of the old Hitchcock suspense movies, where you never know what was going to happen next. Not too much, you know, they didn't get too much into A lot of people say it was a sequel to Cloverfield. And spoiler alert, yeah, it kind of is because it's, alien invasion and whatnot. But they didn't really go too much into it. The whole, synopsis was, yes, the alien invasion was happening, but this chick, the lead actress, she gets kidnapped and ends up in a shelter bunker, 50 feet underground. And John Goodman, he says he, quote unquote, rescued her from the impending doom. But as the movie goes along, the lady comes to find out just the opposite, that, this John Goodman, he's kidnapped other people before, i.e. her daughter, some other chicks, and she finds little clues back and forth to prove this, and then she just wants to get the fuck out of there. Great movie, worth checking out. The end was a total twist in terms of, what happens to the chick, and, if she escapes, and when she gets outside, what to expect outside. And that was just crazy shit, The other thing, what was the other thing? No other thing. The other email, which I pulled, which was kind of interesting, and I wanted to bring it to everyone's, just wanted to share it, right? Casey from North Carolina said, "Hey Quaz, I'm about to go camping soon. Any tips for preventing bear attacks?" Obviously, Casey listened to the show a while back, like in March, when I talked about Backcountry, the movie where two campers were camping, they got lost, and they got attacked by a bear and eaten alive, right? Casey, my only advice to you is don't go camping. You're going to go camping in the woods, you're on the bear's territory, And I said it before, I said it again, we have no earthly business being anywhere near bears. They will eat you alive, literally eat you alive. You can be like, bear attack you on he'll start with your legs. You're like, shit, bears, he bit me on my leg. But like 10 minutes later, the bear's still, he's like chomping down on your stomach, and you're like, oh shit, bear's eating my stomach. And you're still laying there, right? I can't go through that shit, and I don't ever want to go through that shit. I don't want to find myself laying on the ground looking straight up into the sky while the bear is eating out my intestines. I don't want to have to go through that, That's something I want to avoid. If I want to die, I want to die peacefully. If I ever do die, and I know I'm going to die one day, I just want to go peacefully in my sleep. I don't want to go through a brutal death, I don't want to go through a bear attack death, I don't even want to get attacked by a deer, I don't want to go through an embarrassing death where I'm playing basketball and I attempt to dunk, but I get rim checked and then slam on my head, and my head splits open on the blacktop and I die right there. That's an embarrassing death. So I don't want to go through a painful death, and I don't want to go through an embarrassing death. Another embarrassing death is dying while having sex, Maybe I popped one too many Viagras, and boom, I just, keel over as I'm banging the chick with the heart on, That's not a good way to go. It's a bad look, don't want to go that way. Because then, people talk about you, oh yeah, Quaz, you know how he went, right? Yeah, he tried to do a dunk, he got rim checked and split his head open. That's how he died. Or, he was banging this hot chick and he popped like 20 Viagras, and then he just died with his heart on was too hard, and he just died. He died while he was banging the chick. I don't want to go through that shit. Can you imagine? Yeah, Quaz, a bear ate him. A bear literally ate him. We can't bury him because he's in the bear's tummy. If you want to bury Quaz, go get the bear, cut him up, pull Quaz out, and then put him in a coffin and bury him. Then you can bury Quaz. Then he can rest in peace. But right now, he's in a bear's belly. So, he was out fucking around in the woods when he said he'd never go in the woods, and a bear attacked him and ate him. That was one of his most fearful deaths, and it happened. So I don't want to have to go through any of those kind of deaths. I just want to, if I know I'm going to die, I'm like, okay, I'm going to go to sleep. Go to sleep, go to sleep, go to sleep, and never wake up. That's the best way to go, man. Best way to go. But anyways, yeah, Casey, don't go camping. Avoid it if you can, because I don't want to see you being eaten by a bear. I see it on news see you on the little blurb in the news. Quazemoto Show fan got eaten by a bear. That's not good publicity for me. So don't do it, Casey. Stay home, Download an app where you can pretend camp or something. That's it for me, party people. I'm going to watch the rest of the game. It's the start of the fourth quarter. Score is 95-69 Cleveland. I say go Warriors. They got a little bit of a chance, but, we'll see how it plays out. Thank you, everybody, for listening. You can find me on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, and email me, quazimotoshow@gmail.com. Peace.